The magic bad spirits of Babylonia, like Labartu, Labasu, and Akkazu, have interesting stories and special powers that have caught the attention of experts and fans for a long time. Labartu. In the old stories from long ago in a place called Mesopotamia, there's a spooky character named Labartu. She's kind of a big deal in these tales, scaring everyone with her mysterious powers. Imagine a place filled with fog, swamps, and wild mountains. That's where Labartu hangs out, looking all eerie with snakes in her hands. These snakes show she's in charge of life and death, and she often goes after those who are most defenseless, like little kids, their moms, and the people who look after them. The place she calls home is just as wild and dangerous as she is, a spot where strange and scary things are just part of everyday life. Back in the day, when something bad happened, like a sickness, a baby dying suddenly, or childbirth going wrong, people thought it was because of evil forces. Labartu was one of these feared forces. They pictured her as this terrifying mix of animals: a lioness's head, donkey's teeth and ears, and bird feet with sharp claws. She wasn't just scary to look at. She represented all the chaotic and nasty things that could happen without any warning. To deal with Labartu and others like her, people came up with rituals and charms. They made special stones with carvings, said powerful words, and called on strong gods for help, like Pazuzu. Though Pazuzu himself was not always a good guy, think drought and hunger, he was believed to protect people from evil things like Labartu. These weren't just silly old tricks. They were important ways for people to feel a bit safer and hopeful in a world where so much didn't make sense. Among the Utuku, there were the Adimu and Ekimu, spirits that weren't exactly the friendly neighbors you'd hope for. Think of them as the troublesome duo causing all sorts of problems. They were known for bringing sickness and filling people's lives with trouble. If someone got sick, people might think one of these spirits was to blame, filling the person with invisible venom and curses. It was like having an unseen enemy you couldn't escape from, constantly causing harm. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Enter the Shedu, the heroes of our story. These beings were like the superheroes of the spirit world, depicted as mighty creatures with wings and sometimes with the body of a lion or bull. They were the protectors. Imagine them standing guard, keeping an eye out for any troublemakers and protecting people from the malevolent spirits. They were believed to bring blessings and prosperity, watching over cities and temples, and were even seen as symbols of royal power and divine protection. So how did people deal with the threat of the troublesome spirits? They didn't just sit back and hope for the best. They had rituals and incantations, kind of like ancient security systems, designed to keep the bad spirits away and invite the protective ones into their lives. These rituals were taken very seriously, involving precise prayers and actions aimed at warding off the bad while encouraging the good. The Utuku, both the good and the bad, were seen as powerful beings capable of entering human bodies and influencing their lives. It was a world where the line between the physical and the spiritual was blurred, and these spirits played a crucial role in everything from health to the stability of society. In this ancient world, the Utuku were more than just myths or stories. They were a vital part of the culture, representing the constant battle between good and evil, protection and danger. They helped explain the mysteries of life and the challenges people faced, offering a glimpse into a world where the power of the unseen was just as real and influential as the visible world around them. Labasu. In the wide and detailed world of ancient Mesopotamian beliefs, there's a mysterious character named Labasu. This character is closely associated with the scarier parts of the supernatural world. Labasu's name itself brings up feelings of fear and warning, showing how ancient people saw the relationship between being scared, seeking protection, and dealing with the invisible forces that ruled their lives. Labasu is known by a name that means one who throws down, which reflects the ancient Mesopotamians' worries and their efforts to make sense of and manage the evil parts of their environment. This demon's story is not just its own, but is part of a larger collection of beliefs that include other powerful beings like Akkazu, who shared frightening abilities with Labasu. These myths are made up of elements of both protection and danger, with gods and demons playing parts in the ongoing story of life. The ancient Mesopotamians existed in a place where the spiritual and the physical worlds were deeply intertwined. They believed in many spirits and creatures that could have a big impact on their lives. Among these, Pazuzu is a notable figure for protection, especially against the harm of demons like Lamashtu, who were a threat to pregnant women and babies. This system of belief showcases a world divided into good and evil forces always in battle, and where protective charms and ceremonies were essential for staying safe, not just symbolic. Pazuzu's role as a defender against Lamashtu's evil shows the ancient Mesopotamians' strong concern for the safety of women and children. This figure represents the community's dedication to protecting its weakest members, reflecting the society's collective fears and hopes. The detailed ceremonies and charms calling on Pazuzu's aid highlight how important supernatural beliefs were in everyday life and in shaping social norms. The stories of Lamashtu and figures like Pazuzu give us a glimpse into how ancient Mesopotamians viewed the world, a place where the line between the natural and supernatural was barely there, and where people tried to understand their world through rituals, myths, and calling upon gods and demons. The tales of these characters continue to draw interest and provide understanding into the fears, wishes, and beliefs of an ancient culture that, while no longer around, still tells us about the common experiences of humanity. Akazu. In the ancient stories that have been passed down through generations, hidden within the texts of Akkadian and Babylonian lore, there resides a tale not for the faint of heart. This is the story of Akazu, a name that echoes with the chilling whispers of the past, a demon whose legend is as dark as it is old. Known also by the name Ahazu and called Dimikur by the Sumerians, she is a figure shrouded in the mists of mythology, a female entity tied to the yellowing sickness of jaundice, fever, and plagues that have long haunted humanity's nightmares. Imagine, if you will, an ancient world where people lived in fear of the unseen, where the gods and demons walked among them, influencing their lives in ways both profound and terrifying. In this world, Akazu, the Caesar, emerges as a figure of dread. Despite carrying a name that hints at masculinity, this entity is profoundly female, a detail that adds layers to her mystique and power. She belongs to a fearsome trio of female demons, along with Lamashtu and Lamashtu, entities that together weave a tapestry of fear and fascination that has endured through the ages. But who exactly is Akazu? According to legends, she is one of 7 malignant spirits, considered to be the daughters of Anu, the sky god, himself a figure of immense authority in the pantheon of deities. This connection not only highlights her importance, but also places her within a divine hierarchy that the ancient people sought to understand and perhaps appease. Where the echoes of the past are preserved, the stories of these entities were not merely tales of fear and warning. They were part of a complex belief system, rich in narrative and steeped in the attempt to comprehend the divine and the demonic. The scholars of the time, in their pursuit of knowledge, translated texts from Sumerian originals, creating vocabularies and grammars, and compiling interlinear translations. They delved into commentaries on older texts, unraveling the mysteries of obscure words and phrases. This scholarly endeavor was not just an academic pursuit, but a bridge to understanding the divine influences that shaped their world. Among these ancient texts, epics like the Epic of Gilgamesh and the creation myth Enuma Elish stand out. Tales of heroism, creation, and the struggle between order and chaos. These stories, along with omen texts, lexical lists, and ritual incantations, paint a picture of a civilization deeply engaged with the metaphysical, seeking answers to the great questions of existence through their mythology and literature. So, when we talk about Akazu, we are not just speaking of a demon of jaundice. We are delving into a rich tapestry of belief that ties together gods, humans, and the forces of nature into a single, intricate narrative. It's a narrative that speaks of fear, yes, but also of the attempt to understand, to categorize, and to control the uncontrollable. In the stories of Akazu and her ilk, we find the ancient world's reflections on the divine, the demonic, and the human condition, a quest for understanding that is as relevant now as it was thousands of years ago. These entities, along with many others, were subjects of Babylonian and Assyrian incantations against a wide array of demons, ghouls, vampires, hobgoblins, ghosts, and related evil spirits that were believed to attack mankind. The comprehensive detailing of these beings and the spells against them were translated from original cuneiform texts, offering a glimpse into the ancient world's belief systems and the supernatural threats they felt surrounded by. How much have our modern views changed or twisted what ancient people believed about their gods, demons, and stories? Does this change how we see these old cultures and their impact on the world today? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.